Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Bonfire Racing Network here at Kentucky for the season opener of Season 12 uh, of the Bonfire Premier Cup Series, led by new admin Kevin Kyle, who we've got in the booth with us, along with Mean Gene. Guys, how you feeling on this Sunday morning?
Pretty good. It's a little bit early for me and Gene. I can't drink the bourbon yet, but I am super excited to see this season 12 Bonfire Race League. This is the Premier Cup, and I think it's a pretty special event, right, Kevin? Aren't we racing for something new this year?
That's right, Mean Gene. The prize is the bucket because this is the first crown jewel of the season here for the season 12 Bonfire Racing League. And excited to present the trophy to the winner of this race. That is provided by KK Woodscapes.
I cannot wait to see what happens. This is the Puckett 250. We are live at Kentucky, a 1.5 tri-oval intermediate speedway. Banking is a little bit different. You can go faster in 1 and 2 than you can 3 and 4, and I think that might be the story of the race here today, Kevin. You drove this thing earlier. I mean, is it really that much more difficult to go through 3 and 4?
That's the end of the session.
I think so, Jerry. You got to, Gene, you really got to slow down the car, either use a lot of rear brake bias or downshift to really get the car help rotated. And up higher in the track, it's also, you can use that higher lane also. So it'll be awesome to see how the track conditions affect which line these drivers are going to race today.
Yeah, really exciting. Also, 30 men today in the field. A lot of rookies, a lot of veterans. Going to be interesting. Those practice times, we did see some rookies lay down some heaters. So expecting to see a good mix. But with 30 guys on this 1.5-mile track, I think it is a possibility, a distinct reality that we could see a little bit of contact that might turn into a few cautions. But we'll see. A lot of these guys, professionals. This is season 12, so these guys have had a long time to get used to each other, and we'll just see how these rookies end up blending in with the veteran drivers. Cannot wait. Season 12 about to kick off here at Kentucky. This is going to be a heck of a day.
Well, you two are definitely excited for this. I'm going to go down our starting lineup here from qualifying with David Medina from FOCM, Season 11 champion, starting on pole position, followed by David Owens, Gulf Coast Racing, and previous admin of the series. Then you got me in third place, Joe Volpis in fourth, David Beal, Brandon Shelton in that third row, followed by Chris Morrill, Kyle Knott, David Brenner, and Ricky Mandela Sr., one of those new guys starting in the top 10. Zach Engel, Matthew Smith, Jake Gaucher, Justin White coming back, and Justin Malarkey is your top 15. Then it's Chris Smith, Rob Chowdhury, Shane Weatherington, a new guy there, and Gerald Rose, who's our old Mean Gene. That's going to be our top 19.
Can't wait to get this thing started. Cannot wait to see what kind of times these guys are putting up. What are the track conditions today? Are we looking at a really hot track, or are we looking at an average track? And how do you think that's going to affect the tire wear?
It's a little overcast today, so we're going to have a little cooler temperatures. And if the sun opens up and shines down on this track, we'll definitely have a little bit hotter track to temperature. But I think it's going to start off a little cooler as it's a 1 o'clock start for this afternoon's race.
You can see the cars right there. They are lined up down in pit row about to follow that pace car. And there is that beautiful number 9. That is our pole sitter and defending season champion. Kind of fitting that he's going to start up in the front since he's coming here to defend his crown. But the real question is, who's going to win this crown jewel event and take home the Puckett? Are there any other bonuses and perks that might go with that? Perhaps Mr. Puckett himself will come by and do a little yard work, Kevin?
Yeah, if you're in vicinity, I think Dennis told me if you're in about 30 miles within his zip code, he will come to your house and do some yard work and clean out your gutters.
It's what I'm talking about. Right in the middle of February, that's when I'd like to do my gutter work. Got to break the ice up out of there, but they're going to get it done. And I see the Tacky's car right there. I think that's Mr. Puckett himself.
Yeah, drivers are getting done with the introductions, and they just had the fly over here at Kentucky. I'm not sure if it was a biplane or a crop duster here at Kentucky, but I believe he has exited the area as the cars are getting ready to leave pit road.
As someone who lived in Louisville, Kentucky for 18 years, I can with most definitively say it was the Wright brothers' initial plane, a replica, and we still use that coming out of Muhammad Ali Airport. Right now, drivers making their way onto the track as they are going by. I see a Denny Hamlin scheme. Hey, there's a Joey Logano one-off. Beautiful teal car right there, driven by the 855 of Gerald Rose. And these back row guys starting to make their way. Tires are getting warm. Hopefully temperatures inside the car will stay as cool as the track temperatures as these drivers are preparing to make way around. Lights are off that pace car, and you know what that means. We're about to go green.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, so we got ourselves a 167 lap race, which ends up to be the 250 miles, hence the name, the Puckett 250. So all eyes are here on the front row for the inaugural race of the season 12 Bonfire Racing League Premier Cup. And Jerry, once this guys go green, go ahead and take it away.
All right, you can see right there, inside car is Medina. He is going to be ready to make that jump. Outside of him in that Focum machine as well, ready to see some competition. Here comes that green, and away we go. They are led early by that Nas. That looks like the Nas 11 of David Owens, trying to put his mark on this race early. We might see a little bit of race leading from both Gulf Coast and the Focum team. Little rivalry there. Oh, almost 3 wide, but that is going to allow that speed of Medina on the outside to push hard. Owens, Medina, side by side. Cannot wait. The 9 finally get an advantage. You can see the 55 of Kelly coming into the picture as well. He goes high as well. And our first lap is going to be led by Medina. Congratulations to last year's series champ as he starts to mark up those points.
Yeah, David Medina already trying to get out front command as he gets in front of the two cars battling for second and third of Jared Kelly and David Owens. You got Joseph Volpus in the Jack Daniels Honey car and Brandon Shelton in the number 2 Air Force car as it is tight racing here in the up front of these 30 cars. I am impressed again with everyone showing up here and putting on this great race that we're going to have here today. Of course, all 30 drivers, big shout to them. That's who makes our league possible.
Yeah, really good to see that many guys come up for this first race of season 12. And remember, Bonfire Race League, we are running a playoff format. So they are going to race, collecting as many points as they can. It'll be a 12-man field at the end. 2 races will cut it down to 6. 2 more races going to cut it down to that final 4 until they have that big showdown at Homestead. And I'm really happy to see it back at Homestead. Cup has switched it over to Phoenix, but Homestead just seems to be a much more fun track. Just like Kentucky, sad to see that disappear from the Cup Series, but really glad to see that Bonfire Racing has gone ahead and made this one of their crown events. Very exciting racing here. Early on, we can go back into the field. You can see single file racing, but these guys are still looking to make a move while they're on those fresher tires. If you see those 900 and 800 numbers, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to designate rookie drivers. So those are guys to keep an eye on, especially once these tires start to get a little bit worn. What do you think, Kevin? How many laps is it going to take until we start seeing tight cars trucking up the track?
I don't think the tightness is going to be too much of an issue till late in the run, but the 15 laps or so is what I'm hearing for the right rear tire. Is it's going to get pretty hot. I heard from a couple of drivers in the garage today that about after 15 laps or so, they can really feel the heat start building up in that right rear and getting loose off exit. So keep an eye on cars getting off of turns turns 4 and 2, and as the 11 and the 55 here are battling side by side, and here comes Brandon Shelton underneath the 11, trying to find a spot as they try to get underneath and make the pass. But here at Kentucky, it's going to be hard to pass as Owens is not going to let him go by quite easily. Brandon's going to have to find a way to get back in line here, or is he going to stay underneath his left rear?
Yeah, looks like he's in that number 2 U.S. Air Force car, calling out to our men in uniform, running side by sides with David Owens. Owens is in that black 11 Nas car right above him. Good side by side racing. You can see Jared Kelly just ahead of them, and then your leader, David Medina. And finally, the 2 does make the move. Shelton takes that position away from David Owens, and they're going to settle into that front row. Joe Volpus, he's in that gold 07, running in 5th place. Kyle Lynott directly behind him in that blue and purple car, of which I cannot see the number, but knowing him, it's a 900 number. And then there's the 5 of Christopher Smurrell. So a lot of familiar running up front right now. Clean racing here at Kentucky. Commendations to everybody on the track. 30 cars managed to make their way around without an incident, starting to spread out to single file. And we are really starting to hit pace now with these cars early on.
Yeah, that 988 of Kyle Lynott, that is the national suicide hotline there that Kyle Lynott's shouting out there. So big shout there to Kyle for supporting that endeavor and bringing attention to that even here on the track. So thanks to Kyle. And just an update on the weather. At the beginning of the race, we got 66 degrees here in Kentucky, track temp at 86. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the overcast conditions might turn into some cloudier conditions to get a hotter track throughout the day.
Now, there are things that they can do about it. I hear that downshifting in 3 and 4. We talked about that a little bit earlier. That's going to take a little bit of that heat and wear off of that front right, but then it all of a sudden turns into a wear down grind game on that rear right. Isn't that correct?
Well, if you're downshifting into 4th, that just means you're going to have even more higher torque exit in the corner. So you got to really be able to modulate that throttle off exit instead of having that taller 5th gear. It has a little more give. As I know, even in 5th gear, if you got on it too hard, you could lose the rear end. So 4th gear would just make it even more likely to spin. So just got to modulate that throttle, and it'll be a good racetrack here. We'll see see what cars have what it takes to make their way up to the front.
Yeah, nobody wants to lose their rear end. In fact, the way I hear it, women are actually going to doctors to get more rear end. Top 10 right now, David Medina, he is your leader. Shelton in the 2 running second. Kelly, Owens, Volpus, Smurrell, Lynott, David Brenner in 8th, David Buell in 9th, and a 975 number, Mr. Angle. I don't think that's Kurt Angle, but Mr. Angle running 10th. So that is your top rookie driver right now in that 10th spot. So good to see one of the new faces making their way up into the top 10.
Yeah, he's giving David Buell a run for his money right here on the outside. Let's see if Zach Engel can complete the pass or if David Buell's going to get the best out of him here as the 2 cars battle here side to side out of exit of 2. Down the backstretch they go here with a drag race down into 3.
Got that Mountain Dew hard paint scheme on there. We had a conversation about Mountain Dew hard earlier, and it's not the hard that you're thinking of. It's alcohol.
Oh, I did not know Mountain Dew made a alcoholic drink like that. But as Zach though makes the pass, you can see David Buell get loose off of that and then open up the door for Zach to make the pass. So great job there by Zach as Zach moves into the 9th place.
Is there a lot of issues with the dirty air side by side? Do you think that can affect the aerodynamics that greatly?
I think so. In these cars, Gene, it's starting to become even more apparent, especially back and further in the pack with this dirty air. It just does all types of weird stuff with the car, and especially side by side being tight, close together. It does. It seems like it affects, especially under with these intermediate tracks.
Yeah, that's something, especially now, lap 13. We're coming up on that magic 15 number that you were talking about, where we're going to start to see the tires heat up and start to even push up on the track just a little bit. So Smith, Mandela, O'Shea running in that back group right behind Angle. So those guys starting to tighten up as well, and we're going to be expecting to see the heat come up. Beautiful interior car view here from Angle. As you can see the battle ahead of him. A lot of side-by-side racing. Passing or single file racing. Passing really difficult now 14 laps into this race. These tires, you can catch a guy, but getting by him, that's a whole nother story, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. Here is Chris Morrow right now. It's got his hands full with Joseph Volpus and the 11 of David Owens. As looks like Kyle's going to succeed the inside to Chris as Chris tries to make a move. Looking to the outside of Joseph Volpus there. He's going to be able to make his way past Kyle there, pick up a spot as Chris is going to move into P6 at the moment. Up one spot from where he started at.
Yeah, look like David Owens backing the field up just a little bit here. It could be a tire conservation move, or it could just be he got off the rhythm temporarily. Amazing how much getting out of rhythm can affect you. One little slip up of the wheel, it could take a half a lap up to 2 or 3 laps to get back into your rhythm. But you can see, look at the tire wear affecting the cars there, Kevin. The 3 cars went much higher than they would like to. And Smurrell, he just seems to be that odd man out as he's side by side with Lynott. Lynott trapped down below the Gulf Coast teammates of Volpus and Owens. And there's a lot of smoke shooting out that right rear of Joe Volpus coming out of that turn.
Oh, here we go. David Owens, Kyle Lynott makes his way back up to the battle. Now we got a 4-car race up here for what's David Owens at right now? P4 is full. See, Owens going to come up, try to get some dirty air there to Chris out of exit. But now Joseph Volpis looking to the inside of David Owens, trying to make a move.
Four of those 5 cars, four of those 5 cars right there are in a chat with each other as well. Volpis, Owens, Brenner, and Lynott. They all share radio broadcast communication. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of conversation they're having right now. Starting to figure this thing out, though. Volpis takes over that position, lead position of this little group of drivers. Smurrell right behind him, and then you can see Owens and Lynott. So Owens finally giving way to the faster drivers around him. Going to cut back up front. You can see Kelly and Brandon Shelton having a nice battle right there as they're trying to chase down and get closer to our leader. That's the number 9 of David Medina, season champion from season 11, defending, and right now he is leading the puck at 250. We're 19 laps into 167 laps. There's your champion right there, looking good, Mr. Medina, as he is leading these guys around here at Kentucky Roadway. These track conditions really are perfect for driving, but really nice to see how these guys have just kept it clean so far. A little bit of touching, nothing too much to talk about. You can see now Brenner closing up. That's that 22 Puma car. Brenner starting to close in on Lynott and Owens. Wonder if Owens is going to start to play triage or if he's going to continue to fade backwards. Again, not sure if it's him trying to conserve tires or if he is just having difficulty with the cars. He might have burned his stuff up. That is something that happens here at Kentucky. Once you burn it up, you can really feel the pain. Lap 21 right now. Seeing these guys make their way around the field. Good racing here. The inaugural race of the season 12.
Yeah, Gene, I'm so surprised we haven't had a caution yet, to be honest with you. I thought with this many cars, but a lot of the new guys in here showing respect to the other drivers and vice versa. So we've had some great racing so far. So excited to see what this race will bring. As you talk about David Owens, he's down 5 spots to P7 right now from where he started. Brandon Shelton, someone to keep an eye on too. He's got the fastest lap of the session right now, but he's starting to lose a little pace as let's see, Joseph Volpis is starting to put down some good lap times at the moment in P4. So we'll see. We'll see how everyone.
There's a car in the wall.
Oh,
how
hi.
about that?
That's the liquid. That's the liquid Molly car of the 46. I think that's Thomas Pierce. Oh my gosh, that's unfortunate hit there for the 46 Chevy Camaro there, and Thomas Pierce. I know the team was working really hard on that car all off season to get ready for the beginning of this season. So that's unfortunate for the 46. I think that's going to be some major repairs there as he gets into that pit crew, and looks like they're bringing out the sledgehammers and duct tape. Mean Gene.
Hey, well, good thing about working hard in the off season is you're right after your driver puts it right into the wall. And so, yep, there's a sawzall down there as well. They are cutting and they are grinding, expecting to see the 46 back out there. Remember, no fast repairs here in the Bonfire Race League Premier Cup Series. So if you go into the wall, if you take a little bit of damage, you're going to have to get back into this thing the good old-fashioned way, and that's with elbow grease. And that's what's happening right now down there in the pit stall of that 46 Liquid Molly Chevy, as they are trying to get that thing back on the track as quickly as they can. Lap 24, these things are going to start to get slick pretty soon. Luckily, most of this is single file racing, so not really becoming too much of an issue yet. But as we look back further, 24th, 25th position, those cars are getting really close together, and I see a lot of 3-digit numbers on those guys back there. That's somebody right there, Jim Rose. He started up a little bit further, faded back quick at the beginning of that race.
Whoa, Jerry, what's going on there with Jerry Rose?
He's showing exactly what I'm talking about, rookie mistakes. The beginning of the race, Kevin, I was watching that car, and he just faded straight backwards, forcing 3 wide on a few groups of people. So that's a guy you're going to have to keep an eye on if you want to avoid wrecks.
And then back up for P6, we got David Brenner and Kyle Lynott. They were having a big battle there side by side, and looks like Kyle's going to try to bring it back down underneath David Brenner in the 22, as this pair have switched flip-flop positions. Oh, Brenner gets a little touch on the outside wall hitting ring one. Not too worse of wear, though. Now he comes back with the high side momentum.
And they got Big Daddy right behind him, David Owens. All three of those guys sharing that radio communication, Gulf Coast Racing. So maybe Owens is just playing a caregiver behind him right now, telling him they need to keep it on the straight and narrow. A lot of laps left, 140 laps left here today. A little bit too soon for them to be playing touchy-feely on the track. They just need to keep this going straight, get some laps under the belt. Plenty of tires here today as well, right? I hear we got a lot of tires to use.
Yeah, we do have a lot of tires. It's a little bit longer race than usual since it's the Crown Jewel event. It's 250 miles. Races usually last an hour here at the Bonfire Racing League, but this one's scheduled to go a little bit longer today, so we just wanted to make sure there's enough tires for everyone and we didn't run into any issues. And that's something new this season. We're going to have an extra set of tires than usual from last season, so maybe change up some strategy and not, just change it up a little bit. So we'll see how that extra set goes throughout the year.
Hey, you know what? You have plenty of gas out there, plenty of fuel. Why not have plenty of tires? I think what you said, I agree with 100%. It gives you the opportunity to try out different strategies. And if you're not having the best day, car is just not working for you, you've had an accident, why not give that car that's suspect new tires? At least that's one less difficulty for all the drivers around you.
And shout out to that number 56, Jason Landry, making his appearance back. He took a season off in the off season for the Winter Series, and here he's back in the beginning of the year. I don't know if it's a one-off or he's going to be joining us throughout the season, but it's great to have a competitor there, prior season champ of Jason Landry.
And look behind him, that number 73 car. It's not too often that you see a car that's using a paint scheme of that nature. What is that? Is that a Mexico, Italy car?
No, I believe it might have been one of his children drew a design and he imported it and put it on his car, Mean Gene. I think that's what's going on with that car.
I'm jealous now. Hey, I don't have any children and no one designs me a car. Golly gee, maybe he can make a living off of having his children make those designs. A lot of people can put a wrap on a car, but not a lot of children or designers out there. So perhaps we can give Malarkey to get his child into this industry, start making some money off that child labor as quickly as possible.
And it looks like Gerald Rose in the 855 has already been going a lap down, and he might be causing some trouble for, not trouble, but now Owens is going to have to deal with getting around this 855 Pennzoil machine. So we'll have to keep an eye as this progresses, as the 2 and the 22 are battling it out, starting to stack up a little bit here. And these guys are battling out for P4. David Brenner up 5 positions from the beginning of this race, getting chased down by Brandon Shelton. Shelton had a lot of pace in the beginning here, and he is now attacking David Brenner to see what he's got, as Gerald Rose now is underneath Chris Morrill and David Owens. They're going to get this thing straightened up.
He pitted early, and so he's on those fresh tires right now, trying to make his way through this slower traffic.
That's true. These guys need to get out of his way, basically. But looks like Chris Morrill a little earlier got into the wall, just a little tap, but no worse for wear. Chris is having a good day so far. Expect a lot out of him throughout the day today. Someone else, though, to keep an eye on, Jason Landry. I know we just spoke of him, but just to update some numbers, Jason Landry up 14 spots from the beginning of this race. So he's definitely got something going on with that number 56 Toyota Camry. Maybe running a little extra maple syrup on those tires, extra grip. I'm not quite sure, but he is moving up through this field quite quickly.
Oh, you got to get every advantage that you can. He's running as strong as he can right now. Right there behind the 73 of Malarkey.
Oh, shit there, Jerry. That sounded like more of an Irish accent there, bud. You got to learn how to tell them about to rip the corners and the edges here.
Hey, boys, do the best you can. Yeah,
Mel Gibson is Braveheart. That's Braveheart. Oh shit! All right, so our leader still here today is David Medina. I don't think he's given up that lead just quite yet. He's had control of it so far. So David Medina out front, Jared Kelly in the 55 right behind, and 2 seconds behind right now. Joseph Volpus in that 07, and then closest cars behind battling out. It's probably gonna be Brandon Shelton and this 11 group and 5. This is a 4-car battle with Kyle Lanot for P5 at the moment, or yes, P5.
Yeah, not a surprise to see Medina up there running as strong as he can. He's got that 2.5 second lead over Kelly. Vulpes 4 seconds back. Brenner, Shelton, Owens, Morel, Lynott, Buell, and Smith still running up in that top 10. So Medina, this guy, he laid down that burner of a qualifying lap, and now he's starting to come up on lap traffic as well. So that's going to just sort of create another set of obstacles for him.
And then further back, we got a 3-car battle. That's Colin Ott, the 2 and the 52, David Buell behind Christopher Smorrell. They're trying to get this thing figured out. Little bit of action here side by side. We'll keep our eyes peeled on this. We got 2 teammates there up top, though, the 5 and the 2, Team Folcom. I think half the field might be Team Folcom at this point, but this 2 are teammates there right now as they're trying to work by. Oh, here comes Brandon Shelton almost pinching 3 wide across the start finish line. Oh, David Buell trying to look for room. Oh, she puts Shelton up in the wall. He gets a little tap to the fence as David Buell's going to be able to get out of this the best out of these 3 cars. There you can see Brandon getting a little loose, a little cars wiggling in that 2 car as now David Buell's trying to chase down the 5.
Yeah, he put a little Tokyo drift on it right there. You can see the rear end kind of slip out a little bit. Veteran driver got the car back under control relatively quickly, but that is going to give that 5 a slight advantage trying to pull away. But these guys all stuck together like magnets right now. You could pretty much throw a blanket over the top of them. But 5 cars all locked in battle here. This is for position. So very exciting to see these guys 6 through 9 trying to figure out who is going to get through there. And you got to be careful when you're running with the 6 through 9 because a little mistake, you could definitely eat it up into the fall.
And let's go back, take a look at Shane Weatherington and Chris Smith. We got some newcomers. They're running back here in P19, P20 with Justin White. And Justin White, big shout out to Justin. He's our resident road course champion. You know, he's just loves the road courses so much, Justin White. So I'm sure he's excited to run Sonoma with us this year, but glad to see Justin back on track with us. He's always a great competitor and always willing to help you out, but don't, respect him and he'll respect you on his driving etiquette. You know, he's a good ally to have, but an even worse enemy to have.
You got to have rivals out there. It makes it more exciting. You know, even if you have a little incident on the track, nothing says you can't reach out to somebody. They might be heated in the initial contact and conversation that you have, but everybody really has a level head. And if you're willing to talk it out, most every driver will be willing to figure out a compromise of how you can handle your etiquette out there on the track. But, you know, Kevin, it's really nice to have a guy every once in a while that, you know, just leads with the front bumper. That just makes it more exciting for everybody, respectfully using the bumper, of course.
Of course. Yeah, Justin, as we can tell there, it's getting a little loose. And then, like we said, after these guys are going now on 40 lap runs. So these tires, that right rear and right front, probably getting real hot and slick out there on those tires as the track temp has started to creep up to 96 degrees at the moment. So track is getting warmer by the minute as Justin is getting by this little mess of cluster behind him. And what else we got going on here on track? Looks like we got some more action.
Well, still a lot to be decided. Most of this has spread out. We do see some clusters of cars with each other. Lap 43. Got to be thinking, though, it's almost time for some pits. Green flag pit stops. You can't just run this thing as far as you want. And also, we heard earlier, 43, 44 laps is about as far as you're going to take it on green flag. We've been green.
And looking at our monitor, looking at the front monitor, me and Gene didn't mean to cut you off, but that was Thomas Pierce, the car that had repairs done, getting out there with Chris Smorrell and some of the leaders. So as we watch pit stops being taken here, we got the 77 of Jake O'Shea and Justin Malarkey coming in, getting service. Also, that beautiful red-looking Ford Mustang. As pit stops are underway, here comes David Medina, our leader, and that's going to let Jared Kelly lead a lap. And here at Bonfire Racing League, you get bonus points for leading a lap. So the all-important bonus point, Jared Kelly will be picking that up at the moment as pit stops are underway.
Yeah, that's David Brenner. He's bringing it down to the 22. Tommy Fox in that 57 behind him is coming out. You see the 77. He's also making his way out of the pits now. That's Jake O'Shea coming in. That's the 2 of Brandon Shelton. So a lot of activity down here on pit road. 30 cars not going to all come at the same time. But you got to be cautious when you're making your entrance into pit road. There's Jared Kelly coming down. Joe Volpus behind him. So it looks like a lot of the leaders going to stick together there, Kevin. Don't want anybody to get an advantage short pit on you. But on the other hand, people are already counting backwards, even though there's 122 laps remaining here at Kentucky at the Puckett 250.
10-4 Mean Gene, man, I just love it every time you say the Puckett 250. Brings a smile to my face as our Crown Jewel event is underway. First race of the season, all excited drivers, 30 people vying for that chance to hold that 0.5 ounce wooden trophy up in the air, shipped to you by the air by FedEx. So we'll see who gets a chance at holding that beautiful trophy. As David Buell now into the pits, I believe. Kevin Kyle he moved up, stayed out and tracked the longest, was able to get the P3, but now he's bringing it down and he's going to cycle out to the back, as David Medina will be your leader once we cycle back out.
Yeah, you're going to get that thing delivered. It might be FedEx, and I'll tell you what, if he has another season like he did last year, Denny Hamlin himself might be driving that big van pulling up, delivering you that 0.5 wooden trophy. A lot of different strategies already unfolding down in pit road, Kevin. I see some guys taking 2, some guys taking 4, and hell, looks like somebody parked and got out of the car to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, it's a long race, and it'll be interesting to see which strategies unfold. As speaking of FedEx, yeah, I'm looking here at the 24 Rob Chowdhury. He's battling out with the 965 at the moment. Chris Smith, it's believed that the 965. There's a rumor that he races on a controller. We got a car down in the infield. I just saw a quick shot going through the grass. It's not going to bring out a yellow at the moment. And that's the 948 of Shane Weatherington. Unfortunate day. That might be the end for his day. Have to keep an eye on Shane. But as the racing continues, then bring out a way to hit the tow button there, Shane, and not cause any more issues. So thank you for that here. We're all trying to race respectfully, but another shaker and mover. That's going to be 8. Oh, here comes Rob underneath Kyle. Kevin Kyle, they're going to go 3 wide underneath David Buell. He's on the fresher tires. They almost puts it 3 wide right there. This is about patience right here. Looks like the 31's going to stay high out of the way. Oh, he's bringing it down. Rob's going to try to go underneath David Buell. I don't know if there's room. Oh, Rob gets into the back end of the Buell. Buell's going to try to collect it. Oh, he goes back in front of the axe. Oh, he gets into the 31 and the 965. Oh, Mean Gene, Jerry Rose.
The 855, T-Bone.
Yeah, he's throwing out T-Bones left and right. That guy should put an Omaha Steaks logo on the side of that car.
David Buell thought he was just coming here to take a drive. He didn't know he was going to get turned into a steak. 855, taking a page out of Steve Lewis's playbook. And just driving a hole right through the middle. Look at this. This thing is just up. How's he even seeing, Kevin? What is happening?
Well, fortunately, with those air scoop holes, he can see to the left side through the hole. Oh, maybe
That's
not.
what he sees right there.
But unfortunately, it looks like Thomas Fox took a pounding there and that. He's going to be involved in that. I think I saw that beautiful looking Pennzoil car get a little damage.
Look at the rear view mirror. Everybody's avoiding that hot mess.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. That's going to be our first caution of the race here. And just wanted a big shout out to FarmersOnly.com providing aerial footage here today. Remember, folks, at Farmers Only, you don't have to be lonely. At FarmersOnly.com, big shout out to them. They've been a sponsor throughout the seasons here at the BRL Bonfire Racing League. So once again, shout out to them and all the footage here from the Farmers Only blimp.
It looks like your lucky dog, number 7, going to make his way around, get back on the lead lap. Congratulations to him. Yeah, that incident, unfortunate. You know, Gerald Rose was on older tires. Remember, he pitted on lap 28. So when that incident occurred, those tires did not have quite the grip, sliding, turning the wheel left, but did not come through. And he made contact, clipping that front end of Buell, causing damage to both cars. Number 7 zipping around the track right now. That is your lucky dog. That will allow him to get back onto the lead lap. Congratulations. As we are looking at our first caution here on lap 51, 116 laps remaining. Well, these guys can make about laps, so I'd expect to see 2 more pit stops to make this thing all the way to the end.
Yeah, it might be 3. I'm not sure. I know we're getting about 40 lap runs or so. So 42 lap runs. So that's only 80. We might be looking at 2 more. Yeah, like you said, Gene, 2 more stops there. So here comes the 57, the 31 coming back down pit lane. Looked like the 31 missed pit road entry on the first time around. He's going to get a black flag, but that's the least of his worries because I'm hearing over the radio 31 has a toe link broke, so that's going to be a long repair, about 6 minutes for the 31. That's probably the end of his contention in the race today.
Same thing coming from the 855 of Rose. He's going to have a 7.5 minute repair job. That ought to be a good time. Lots of cars. Going to check in with Buell as well to see exactly how long he's going to be in the pit. So you can see those bottom drivers right there dealing with some heavy damage after that incident. And Pierce in the 46, he was involved early on, put him 17 laps down trying to get his repair. So slowly going to creep back into this on those 5 drivers that were part of that caution. They're lined back up, cruising around behind the pace car. I see the lights are off the pace car. So we are expected to go green here unless something unforeseen occurs. David Brenner being shown as your leader, the 22. Joe Volp is second. The 96 of Smith, Kyle Lynott, Ricky Mandela, and David Puckett. That's your top 6.
Yeah, Gene, shout out to some of the rookies up here at the top. We got 995 Ricky Mandela. He's at 6th place right now. Sam Milliken doing a great job. He's a returning driver. He's up 18 spots. Stephen Neal, he races in the truck series a lot, so glad to see the 945 out here with us. They're green flag racing. As I missed the beginning of the start of that there, Gene, sorry about that.
That's all right. Good run right there. Brenner's going to take a lead. You can see behind him Kyle Lynott. Joe Volp is having a little battle. And then it fans out as we see a lot of 2 wide racing. The 17 and the 945 getting after it right there, making a good run. That's a damn good run, not just a good run. I think that's Milliken making his way around the track.
That's right. That's the 17. And there's Chris Morrill in a Hornet's Nest behind Jared Kelly in the 73. That's Justin Malarkey, Justin White. They're all battling out, tight racing off the screen flag restart. You're always going to have that off restart. So let's see who can make the most of these fresh tires and make their moves throughout the field as they gain position, track position for the remainder of this race.
For those who have fresh tires, I'm sure there were guys out there that thought 2 was the way to go. Get that track position. Not sure if I would have done that.
Yeah, and some notable cars a lap. Some notable cars a lap down. Gene, we have David Owens in the 11. He's the first car a lap down. Paul Ferdiani. Oh, car hard up in the outside wall. That's the 2 of Brandon Shelton. It looks like the 61 of Matt Schofield there might have got 3 wide, pushed into that left rear quarter fender. Oh, that car is toast there. Gene, is I don't think that's going to bring out a caution here as he's going to get that car back down to the apron on the pit road. Oh, what a shot there.
He was running really fast there at the beginning, too. Really unfortunate to see.
It's a piece of fender flies off into the inner, but they're still not throwing a caution for debris. Unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, he qualified 6th, so really a sad day to see the number 2 of Shelton involved in that incident. That front right still not turning.
No, that could be that could be race-ending damage there for the number 2. So we'll have to keep an eye in here. Listen on the radio what kind of damage he has as he pulls this thing into the pit road.
We'd share with you the radio communication, but there's just too many 4-letter explicatives coming off that radio right now. Cannot share that with you at home. But I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with the team name of Folkham. And that's who we're looking at right now, David Medina up there in that machine. Can't wait to see Medina cut through this traffic. He's running back in 8th place right now. He was your pole setter. So we're ready to see him start to cut through traffic. Makes me wonder, Kevin, the cars in front of Medina, if they took some of that 2-tire strategy to try to find that lap position. And if they did, at what point will they really start to suffer as the car starts to truck up the track?
It's hard for me to say. I think he might have came in and topped off. on that one. I'm not sure. He's showing him he had a quick pit stop, but we'd have to go back and take a look. But yeah, he shouldn't have a trouble. Him and Jared Kelly moving their way through the field right now as they're going to try to chase down these cars that have three. They got about 7 laps on them, 6 laps on them. So we'll see if they took tires and different strategies are playing on here.
Yeah, amazing how early tires can be an issue, but after a certain amount of laps, you notice that the tires kind of even out. And even though they'll run even for that 20-25 lap window, that ending when they really start to tighten up is when you can see it. So there'll be a few laps of opportunity, I think, for the cars to get close and even out. And then once they start to get tight, again, you'll see them spread out. But we're early into this run right now. Side-by-side racing, very exciting. You can see Jared Kelly and Medina now. They're on a hot rail right there trying to get around these guys. You can see the 17 Milliken just up ahead of them, and they might go high with Milliken, but that side-by-side racing is kind of closing their window of opportunity on these pressure tires.
Yeah, and then right there, we're on board with David Medina and Jared Kelly on the Omaha Steaks cam. We appreciate Omaha Steaks for sponsoring this broadcast, and that camera angle really gets you good shots of people getting T-boned. As the 55 looks underneath Jason Landry, trying to make some room underneath him. He's going to get room, but I don't know if he's going to get momentum. But the problem is the 56 is going to get hung up behind Sam Milliken. Now, can Jared Kelly use that pick, almost like a pick, and get around him? No, Jason's going to have the better run. Let's see if Jared Kelly and company can set him up again for a pass, as this is a great battle here between some top competitors in our league.
Now these guys right here all wanting to get by, get some clean air. That dirty air definitely can affect the way that your car is handling and make that rear end want to just slip right around. These cars, though, trying to hold position. You can see Milliken go a little bit high, but the 56 cannot take advantage of that behind him. You can see Kelly and Medina would love to find that opportunity to start to cut through this traffic, but it's not going to appear as of yet. But that group slowly catching up to David there. So we're going to see even more cars come into this group, just creating more complications. Look at Kelly and Medina, though, trying to hug that apron, make their way around there. And hey, why not, Kevin? They got a little bit fresher tires. Why not use them up riding that low line if you could try to make a move?
Yeah, you notice something too, though. Jason Landry able to move around the track and make different lines work. It's something he's very skilled at. I hate, even how much as it pains me to say nice things about the number 56. He's doing a great job being able to find his way around cars in different ways as he's trying to catch up now to Dennis Puck in that 12 Taki's car. As he's going to cut underneath Sam, might make Sam tight. We got to see, yep, they're right there. Sam got a little loose. Going to shove him up in front of Jared. It's going to kind of block, back up that line. Now Jared's got the outside of the 17. Should be able to make a move past the 17 and get around him as he's trying to chase back down Landry. Now let's watch David Medina in that 9 at the moment. He's going to try to find a line that doesn't have so much dirty air to help him get around. That's a key here at these intermediates and at tracks, is trying to find clean air to get the most downforce on your car to help you turn through these corners. So something to keep an eye on is when a car washes up in front of another car, how tight they get off of exit and entry.
Yeah, this just in, David Buell is going to park it. He has taken it behind the wall, ending his day. Also, Shane Weatherington has also parked his car. Had enough for the day, so 2 cars falling victim to the battle of attrition known as Kentucky. Still 28 cars running. Brandon Shelton, though, we got to keep an eye out on him and see what's going to happen.
No, is this just in there, Mean Gene? Brandon Shelton is out of the race car and waiting by Matt Schofield's trailer on the infield. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as that develops. So he is out of the car and done for the day.
Yep, he's wearing a pair of Daisy Dukes, and he's got his dad with him. And I think we all know how that scenario is going to end. Do not mess with a man wearing Daisy Dukes when his dad is there. Something bad is going to happen.
All right, now take a look at this. See, now Jason Landry getting railroaded on the outside there. He's trying to make the inside work, but wasn't able to. Now Jared Kelly's going to do a good job of kind of pressuring him down on the inside, not letting him exit the way he wants, but now he's going to cut down underneath as they're going to try to work around the 56 to get to the 12 as we keep an eye on these close battle up front right now. But David Brenner is your leader of the race, up 8 positions from the beginning. followed behind Joseph Volpus in the 07, Kyle Knott in the 988. That's all Gulf Coast. And then behind that, that's Dennis Puckett. And that's the battle we're watching at the moment is Puckett and Jared Kelly battling out for that 4th position. As Dennis is going to give up that position to Jared, let him get by. And same thing with Landry. It looks like Landry might have got his stuff a little hot. Going to let those tires cool off and trying something different. Is now Chris Morrow makes a move past the 56.
I mean, how much slower do you have to go to let the tires cool off? I mean,
I think it's going to be maybe almost a half a lap. You know, like take the next entry and exit a little smoother. Because if you try to push it right after you slide the tires or get them hot, you're going to just keep compounding the problem. So as you see Dennis Puckett up in the outside safe for barrier wall, no smoke came off, so not a big hit. But now Jason Landry trying to find a way around the 5. As the 5 tried to make a evasive move for the 12, isn't going to be able to make it happen. Is going to let the Landry back, and that is no good for Chris, because what you're trying to do here is pass people the most efficient way possible to save the tire. You're not using it, but when you let someone next to you back, you know, when you pass somebody and let them back next to you and you have to fight them again, it's just no good. You're just losing time and efficiency. So you'll have to, something to keep an eye on with these drivers is now you see Dennis falling back like a brick.
Yeah, he got loose again right there in front of Sam Milliken. Got tight, cut down hard on the track. Milliken managed to wake his way around him without any kind of contact. But I think we're seeing exactly what you spoke about. Those tires get a little bit hot, and all of a sudden that car is just tight. Puckett's going to have to back off for, like you said, a half a lap or even more to try to cool things off, because there's still a lot of laps on this tire fuel run for these guys here at Kentucky. So Puckett's going to need to find a way to put that car back on the straight and narrow and put down some more laps before he can even think about coming into pit if he wants to stay on this lead lap strategy.
That's true. That's correct there, Jerry. Well said. As now we have the battle between Jared Kelly and the number 9. These are 2 big heavy hitters here battling out down the backstretch into turn 3. David's going to take the inside liner from Jared. Jared's going to fall in line, but might have a better exit. We'll have to see as he crosses them over underneath. Now he's going to have position if he has a drag race down underneath him to the start finish line. Now he's going to make David take the high entry and see if David can make this high entry stick.
Yeah, that's that thing. Look at these guys. They find that line, whether they're low, middle, or high, and they're just able to put that thing on a rail and just watch how smoothly that car goes around. No jerking, no trying to change lines in the middle of the turn. They're just able to make a little bit of drift right there, buddy, man, just to keep that thing. And look how smooth he just powers around, letting the car drive itself almost, not causing any excessive tire wear, trying to make this thing as smooth as possible. Christopher Smurrell now drawing back into line with these guys. So I would expect these cars to just make a trail and blaze their way up to that group right in front of them.
Yeah, and speaking of Buddy, big shout out to Buddy Sally. Wish he was here racing with us, or even working up here in the production truck with us, as he's going through a lot of things at home and in physical injury there. But we're just thinking of you, Buddy, and hope you get well, and can't wait to see you back on the track or in any capacity. And we just wish you well, Buddy.
Yep, Buddy Sully, he's coming off a big Wednesday night or Monday Mayhem Championship over in our sister league, the Moonlight Racing League, MRL. So Buddy Sully now recovering in the offseason. Hope to get him back up in here very soon, back in Bonfire Race League. Another guy missing out on tonight is one of our fellow broadcasters, Zach Panzarella, unavailable this morning. Apparently he had a big night, might have involved tequila and vodka, not sure. But Zach, we're thinking of you as well. Hopefully some Tylenol and ibuprofen will get you back on the right track.
Yeah, well said there, Mean Gene. As we take a look here at 2 teammates battling out side by side, that's Joseph Volpus in the 07 Jack Daniels Honey Machine, and 988 of Kyle Anod, as Kyle's going to get up ahead of him on board on the Omaha Stakes Scan. We get a great shot here of the different lines of their running. Now,
where do you stand on that?
On what there, Mean Gene?
On honey, putting honey in your Jack Daniels. I've seen some flavored liquors before. I'm just not sure about that.
I've tried it. It's not bad. I like honey. I think honey's very healthy. My wife thinks it's a very healthy thing. Like, she buys the $70 jars of Manuka honey, and when we get sick, we eat the honey. It seems to work, but I don't know what kind of honey they're getting at Jack Daniels to be putting in all them bottles. I don't think
Well,
it's the
it's
most
working.
healthiest one.
Well, it's working for him now. Volpus has that machine up into third place, and he is chasing down teammate Kyle Lynott. So I guess honey does work in Jack Daniels right now. But we'll revisit this argument in 90 more laps and see if that's the thing or not.
Well said.
But look
well
at
said.
behind him though. All of a sudden you can see that Focum machine, Medina and Jared Kelly to chase him down. So honey might not be the way to go. We'll just have to see what Medina yells at Volpus when he drives by him. If he gives him the thumbs up or the thumbs down gladiator style on putting honey in the Jack Daniel.
A great race behind him too. That's Jared Kelly and Christopher Smorrell. Maybe you'll have to keep an eye on this battle. I know David's out in the front lead, and he's been hard to catch on board with the Omaha States Cam with Christopher Smorrell. But take a look. There's Joe on the outside. Looks like Joe might be slowing down a little bit, losing some paces now. Christopher Smorrell is going to start getting into his wheelhouse of longer runs. So we'll have to keep an eye on these guys as battle continues. But we're almost 3 wide again. Further back, that's the 24 Rob Chowder again underneath Matthew Smith of the 96. Rob right now running P13, involved in an earlier incident with Matt Schofield and David Buell and Kevin Kyle. Ended both their days basically. I know it was a racing incident. People might be putting notes down, put it on a tally, one would say, but we'll have to see later on in the season what happens with those things. But,
it's interesting. They are racing incidents, but you have to wonder if a car is above you and there's enough room for them to glide up and maintain the integrity of the car. You watch Medina, you watch Jared Kelly drive, the way they let the car drive itself, the way the nose goes. And that does have a tendency to go up. You got 17-degree banking there in turn 1 and 2. You got the 14-degree banking in 3 and 4. There's a certain way that the car wants to go. So for you to unnaturally come down and pinch somebody down on the apron, that is a conscious decision. It's not dirty racing, but it is a conscious decision. It can affect tire wear. It can affect speed. And that's something the drivers do put into their mental memory bank for later in the season.
Well said, Mean Gene. Well said. As now the 9 is getting underneath Kyle Lynott getting real loose. Real almost had a moment there on the backstretch. David able to make his way around her, not lose any speed really. But now here comes Kyle Lynott. Let's see now. That's going to heat up those tires. If he's going to have a harder time getting off exit. Yeah, he's getting loose a little bit again. He's trying to fight back or slow down David Medina, but no, David Medina is good. Oh, here he comes back underneath. I thought David's going to have him. David's backing off that corner.
Yeah, Medina, that was a little incident. Medina being the veteran driver he is, going to take this opportunity to let the tires cool off now. No sense in getting them a little bit warmer to try to fight for one position.
But you see that Kyle pushing it as hard as he could, and David washed up in front of him. And if you're barely hanging on with traction, and here he comes. Here comes Kyle Lynott, 988 down pit road. He's had enough. He's going to change up his strategy, seeing David Medina pass him by.
Really savvy move there by Lynott as he is going to start to throw strategy into speed, taking this opportunity to be one of the first guys pitting at this stage. That'll be his second pit stop. We are anticipating 3 with Green Flag Racing, and that'll be his second pit stop of the day. So Lynott short pitting the field. He's going to have some really fast laps when he comes back out. If this thing stays green, that might pay off down the road, Kevin.
Yeah, and we're about halfway through our race here as they complete lap 84 out of 167 laps. As David Brenner still in the lead, but he is getting chased down by the number 9 and the 55 of Jared Kelly, as they have caught up to him and are looking now to make a pass. But David Brenner, known to be the Ryan Newman of the league, as he is a hard man to pass. He is all over the track. He makes that single car feel about 3 cars wide, trying to get by the 22. So let's see how this unfolds as the 9 tries to make his way around the 22.
He's Brenner. He's got 1 foot on the gas and 1 on the brake. Hey, he's also got 1 hand on the wheel and 1 hand on that rear view mirror, trying to see if he can cut him off. But look how smooth. That's that smoothness we're talking about. Medina is not jerking the wheel. He is just using the banking to find which way his car wants to go, accelerates smoothly, and finds himself underneath the leader of Brenner right now. No excessive tire wear, just following the line. And Brenner having to make sharper movements to stay ahead. And that's just going to make his tires heat up right now. Great three-car battle. As we can see now, Kelly, Medina, and Brenner. Oh, a little tap of the wall, but the momentum continues to go. But Kevin, this thing heating up as David Brenner, he's got two piranhas on the back of him, and I can see blood in the water.
Yeah, and that's what, anything to help David out, them seeing Jared and David side by side, as you can see David's car wiggling. There's a lot of Davids out here, but you can see Medina's car wiggling a little bit behind the 22, but now David with a huge run, coming into turn one, going to try to make the pass. But David Brenner's going to have a little more momentum on the high line if he can make it work. It doesn't look like he's into the wall. Gets into the wall. Couldn't handle the pressure as he gets swallowed up by the 55 of Jared Kelly. He starts compounding spots as he's into the 77 of Jacob Shea. Unbelievable mistake there by the 22.
Yeah, Shea no fear at all. He's not scared because Shea just took that car right underneath door-to-door contact as Shea continues to push through that line, fighting up for that fourth position. Heck of a day of racing. Back here we can see the 56, the 73, and looks like Sam Milliken closing the gap on Malarkey and Lowry. Really good racing right here. Lap 89, we've still got 71 more laps to go. Well, that math doesn't math at all, but we still got 70 plus laps to go. Malarkey gonna bring it in. There's Joe Volpus, so they have to come in and start pitting, especially after that early move that we saw, that short pit technique earlier. These guys, they're going to need to bring it in.
Yeah, pit strategies are all happening all over the track. I'm taking a look here at who do I got on my board. I'm looking at Stephen Neal in that 945 coming over from the Truck Series. Good to have Stephen on board. He's up 11 spots, even though there's some pitting going on. Good to see him doing a great job as that battle continues up front with David Medina and Jared Kelly. We're both running Fords. I know Jared was that paint job on that 55 looks great, by the way. Mr. Kelly, the Showboat 55 looking great as always. Got the Iowa Battleship on the back, and he's trying to shoot a shell across David Medina's deck to let him know he's coming for him as they get by the 995. That's one of our rookies right there. What number's the 995? Oh, that's Ricky Mandela Sr. Ricky's doing a great job for his first race with everyone, as he's going to bring it down. Looks like, speaking of him.
Yeah, good communication right there. He was on the radio all day, pretty much letting people know where he was and communicating that he saw where faster cars were located. Not the best track for him, but making sure that people knew who he was and at all times. So really good communication, really good guy. Looking forward to seeing him continue to progress in the league here, running right there in that orange 985.
Yeah, and there we have Thomas Pierce passing another fellow Canadian. I believe Thomas Pierce, I do have the Canadian flag on his nationality here, and got the 56, so that's Canadian on Canadian action, kind of like a beaver on beaver action, or that could be on another category on another website, but
don't take a tree down. Really speaking of Canadians, missing our French Canadians. I hope that both of them are doing well today. Missed you guys, and hope to see you come back next week. I understand there might be some hard feelings about Kentucky after that War of 1812, but hey, no hard feelings. Everybody, they're allowed one, and this will be yours. So come back, guys. Love to see you back on the track.
And there's take a shot of Justin White bringing in that number 28 Grinds Coffee Chevy Camaro, getting 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles put on that and some Sunoco fuel. As that Jackman gets around the other side, lifts it up, puts the jack down, and away he goes. As we go back to David Medina, our leader, getting around some of these cars on fresher tires. Ricky's going to be out there on some cold tires. They won't take too long to heat up as they get under temp. So we should see Ricky get back by David if he can hold on, which is important because he's fighting to stay on that lead lap.
Yeah, speaking of terrifying cars, I can see that 855 Gerald Rose in that teal car right ahead of them. Leader's going to need to be concerned. That car is still running with about 4 minutes of damage as they are playing triage. Hopefully that rookie driver won't cut down in front of the leaders and cause an incident.
Hopefully not there, Mean Gene. It seems like you're very, oh, he gets loose and he's gonna, oh, David Medina, his base of action is that 855, leaves a big streak across that green safer barrier. Is he gonna go up and touch it again? Yes, second time's a charm. And here comes the number 9, gonna take a pit strategy, gonna pit 1 lap sooner than Jared Kelly. So we'll see how this plays off as the delta of the pit stops plays out. And we'll sure this will bring Jason will bring Jared Kelly in next time around, as he's going to want to try to stay right on strategy with David Medina, as this could be the race for the lead.
I wonder how much of that decision making of Medina was made because of the evasive action that he took. He loves to let the car drive itself and just accelerate through. And they're just like you said, Kelly going to come down right away, matching that strategy to try to keep his tires on pretty much the same level. These two guys driving so close to each other really want to figure it out on the track. Always hurts when you lose because of a pit strategy, but feels real good when you win because of it.
Yeah, great shot there by Jared Kelly, our producer, on the car of Jared Kelly on the Omaha Steaks cam. Remember, folks, you don't have to be lonely at omahasteaksonly.com. So take a look at that website, as they're a proud sponsor here at the BRL Bonfire Premier Cup Series.
Yeah, 4-tire stop right here. Kelly getting fuel, as much Sunoco as he can pump in that thing, and they are in and out with that Aeromotive 55. Jared Kelly going to get back on the track as quickly as he can. And let's see where he comes out in relation to Medina. Medina 1 lap earlier pitting. Going to be curious how long it takes these two guys to get back together. Nice blip cam right there here at Kentucky. We're on lap 98. We got 69 laps to go. Couldn't resist that one now, could you? And racing still hard. We're going to come out of these pit stops, and we're going to see where we rotate around, see who our leader is going to end up being. Christopher Smurrell currently being shown as your leader, but he's in the pit, and that should turn it over to Kyle Lanat.
Yeah, Kyle Lanat took that different pit strategy, I believe, as I'm checking my information. Last pitted on lap 83, so he's on a little bit older tires than the rest of the field right now to get out to that early jump. As now the field's trying to pass the 31 of Kevin Kyle. That's 96 of Matthew Smith, Dennis Puckett, and David Owens. Oh, we're almost having gets by 3 wide with 2 slower cars. Great job there by Dennis and Matthew Smith to find a way through. Kevin Kyle's damaged vehicle just trying to stay up out of the way, as the 975 of Zach Engel. I'm already getting used to that paint scheme and calling him Zach. So Zach, good job on the paint scheme. I can call you out. As David Owens is making his way. Kevin trying to give everyone plenty of room, staying high as he can. It's pretty sad when the best thing that 31's done all day is stay out of people's way, but it's all right.
I think there's a few cars that we could say that about. And it's not just those 900 numbers. You know, I've only seen a couple of those rookie 3-digit cars really struggling.
Whoa, Jerry Rose almost gets into 70. Oh, Justin Malarkey. That Jerry Rose car, they're going to have a driver's meeting with him on driver awareness.
He's a damn menace right there. Looks like he's holding his line straight now, but that was a really close call he had there with Malarkey. I have to go back and look at a replay of that. Couldn't tell. Malarkey looked like he didn't mind pulling that slide job and coming up. Knows exactly what happened in that situation. But some of these rookie drivers just need to keep it high and communicate where they are and their awareness. Like that 985, that guy is really good at communicating. He stayed on that radio that whole time right now behind Jared Kelly. And you can see the 17 Milliken right behind him doing a damn good job.
That's a good looking car there by Michael Benton, one of our newer drivers in the 985. I like that paint scheme a lot. Old Bucky's car. Oh, it's the Bucky's car going to touch the outside wall. Give him the curse. Give him the heebie-jeebies as he touches the graces that outside wall. But let's see. Kyle Lanat, he pitted early. He's running. He's got about a 5-second lead over David Brenner. Now, remember, Brenner pitted a little sooner also. looks like that strategy's helping pay off as he was able to jump David Medina and Jared Kelly by just a little bit. So big close battles with different pit strategies. Awesome to see. Justin Malarkey up 11 spots. Sam Milliken, another shaker and mover, is up 18 spots. Not sure what happened to Jason Landry. He's down 2 laps. I believe it was a black flag is what I'm hearing in race comms. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Jason, but we will find out. And what else we got going on here?
16 cars being shown on the lead lap right now. David Owens would be your lucky dog recipient if something happened at the moment. So some of these cars, whether it be from black flags, crashes, or just straight up getting beat down on the track off the piece. But right now, looking forward, it's Kyle Lynott being chased down by David Brenner, Joe Volpis. So Gulf Coast Racing still putting their stamp here on this race today. Malarkey, Medina, Kelly, Milliken, White, Smurrell, and Stephen Neal is going to round out your top 10. Spread out, big 4.5-second lead for Lynott. I'll be curious, though, that man, is he due for a pit stop, Kevin?
Let's see with Kyle Lynott. Last pit of the lap 83. We are on lap 105. He's probably got 20 laps left, I'd say. 20 laps left in the bank to see if he wants to use them up or if he's got another strategy. Kyle's been known to kind of go off sequence. So we'll see what Mr. Lynott has in store for us today. But I'd say he's got 20 more laps so he goes empty.
I mean, if he could push it that 20, he would only need that one last pit stop to get another 40 out of it, finishing this race, minus, of course, another caution. So Kyle Lynott, he's in the window to pit just one more time and take that dub. There's a great of Volpis. You can see out the back that questionable choice of honey in the Jack Daniels as he's looking back at David Medina trying to close that gap. And behind him, you can see the 73 of Malarkey. And finally, Jared Kelly coming back into the picture with Milliken directly behind him. And there's the front end. Ooh, little side-by-side racing. Medina making a charge in that Focum Ford. He's going to sneak right on by. Great racing, clean racing right there by both of those guys. A nice clean pass by Medina.
And remember, just to give everyone an idea, David Medina right now, he's on 7 lap pressure tires than Joseph, the car he just passed right now. And he's chasing down David Brenner. And David Brenner is on 5 lap older tires. So we'll just keep that in mind as you're watching these battles unfold and how tire management can come into play later in the race.
What are you saying? You saying Gulf Coast Racing using those stinky old tires?
They might, well, I'm saying they used them earlier, but as you can tell, like, you know, Mr. Medina running those fast times was able to stay out, and now he's going to be able to capitalize, hopefully, on the fresher tires. But we'll have to see if a 5-lap difference in tires is meaningful as he's trying to chase down the number 22 at the moment.
And how long it's meaningful, because at some point, I would think they all just kind of even out, at least for a good 25 laps. But look at this. Medina must still be in that window of good tire wear as he's going to take it a little lower on the apron, side by side with Brenner. Brenner's still, though, going to keep the hammer down as he continues to fight with Medina. And these guys are side by side for a full lap here around Kentucky. This is some exciting stuff, wide open racing. Brenner wiggles, and that, I think, might be the opening that Medina needed. Is he's going to slide right in the front, take that position. Great racing there by David Medina.
Yeah, you're going to get used to saying that phrase a lot there, Mean Gene, as David is I think he's 3-time, right, Jared? 3-time champion in our series there, if you could fact check me. I'm not sure if I don't think it's 4. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3-time. I'm getting ahead of myself. But he has not been able to claim the coveted Puckett trophy. So we'll see who can take that home tonight, as that's what's on the line here for the drivers.
Well, he's slowly closing that gap right now. Kyle Lynott would love to be that first-time recipient of the Puckett, but Medina is definitely reeling him in. He looks like a character for Mortal Kombat saying, "Get over here," as that gap is getting smaller and smaller. David Brenner, though, staying in the picture right now. Jared Kelly putting the moves on Joe Volpis. Now he sneaks on by as well, and Malarkey, he's closing that gap on Vulpes as well. So we're starting to see those 5 and 7 lap older tires of Gulf Coast Racing starting to take that team the wrong direction.
And we've got further back, we got Chris Morrill making his charge. He's in 8th place right now, looking to get around the 28 of Justin White. He looks to the outside. Looks like he's got some room as he's starting to make a charge. Chris Morrill last pitted on lap 98, and he's chasing down a Justin White that pitted on lap 93. So that's a 5-lap difference in tires as that battle continues on. And there we go, number 9, David Medina, taking that lead over Kyle Lynott in the 988. He's finally made his way around that Ford Mustang and is taking over a sole position of first place as we are now on 114 laps into this race.
Yeah, look at how close, though. You can see Brenner and Jared Kelly both in there. All 4 of those cars you see on the screen, they are racing for position. Ooh, little bit of slipperiness. And then you can see behind those 4 cars, another group closing the gap of 3 more cars. That's Morrell, White, and Milligan. So top 9 cars only separated by about 6 seconds right now. Everybody's going to need to take at least one more pit to finish this thing out. So a lot of action left here to go. We're on lap 115. We got 52 laps left to figure out exactly who's going to take home that coveted award of this crown jewel event.
And we could, I was just going to say, Stephen Hill, Rob Chowdhury, and Jake O'Shea here, they're getting some action, some passing going on. I believe Jake might be a lap down, or 5 laps down. Jake is putting some laps down, but the 945 of Stephen Neal running in 10th place. Great showing here for Stephen Neal as his rookie year, battling out against the 24 of Rob Chowdhury in the FedEx car, as it gives him plenty of room this time around the track. And there's the 975 of Zach Engel catching up also. Great job by Zach, rookie season, running 12th.
Yeah, he's in that Mountain Dew hard car back there. That thing looks nice, and good job there by Neal. He does wisely. Discretion is the better part of valor. Stephen Neal letting those guys go right on by him, because at this point you're really thinking about that tire wear. Plenty of tires in the pits, but it costs you time on the track. 31 seconds to get around this track. Coming in and out of the pits, you're going to go down 2 laps real fast. So better to just let a guy go by now, let the tires cool off on the track, and then get right back on pace. Good inside car cam right there as you're seeing in the front of Neal as he's looking up at that Mountain Dew hard car.
Now, that sponsor for Stephen Hill, Paperus, was that the first people that made the first game for NASCAR back in the day? I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. I think that might be a thing. As we got a good battle between teammates here in the 73 and the 5 of Chris Morrill, Team Folkham, battling it out on track. Teammate Kevin Kyle, the 31, just back there for I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just back there, cheering them on, basically. That's what he's doing. Let them know how good they're doing up front.
I looked up Paperus, and for me, it's saying it's a greeting card company.
Oh, well, I'm way off.
It's a holiday thing. Well, you never can tell. I got fat thumbs on both hands, so I can't spell anything. Right now, though, 47 laps to go. David Medina is your leader. Jared Kelly, top 2. Then you got some David Brenner, Kyle Lynott, little Gulf Coast action. Christopher Smurrell, 73 of Malarkey, Joe Vulpes, Justin White, Sam Milliken, and Rob Chowdhury making his way up into the top 10 in that 24. Denny Hamlin going to work at UPS next to your car. Good racing right there. You can see that's for that 10th spot right there. They're closing in. That 24 of Chowdhury, he is running 10th. And look at Owens coming up on a hot lap. Inside of him, you can see angle in that 975. Stephen Neal, and there's Puckett in the 12 as well. So things heating up for that 10th position right there. You'd think they were battling for the lead.
Yeah, and David Owens looks like I'm not sure if he's battling out to stay on the lead lap or if he's a lap down at the moment, but he's doing everything he can to get back on that lead lap and make the best day he can, as he's shown right now in P17.
And Chowdhury doing his best impersonation of Ryan Newman as he's swinging that thing left and right. He made David Owens have a heck of a day trying to get by him before Owens finally did make it by. Yeah, Owens got a ways to go and a short time to get there if he thinks he's going to get back on this lead lap the old-fashioned way. But you know what, Kevin? A caution puts him as the lucky dog, and then magically he's back in this thing racing for points. And who knows, maybe even running for the coveted Puckett itself.
That is very true, Mean Gene, especially with this many.
I've seen him do it.
Especially with so many cars already a lap down and kind of out of that lucky dog contention. Getting back on the lead lap's a huge deal with a restart. It's Dennis Puckett gets up into Jerry Rose there. No worse for wear. I know it's not on the screen at the moment, but a little bit of an incident there between Gerald Rose and the Talkies machine, as Dennis is able to get by no problem. Dennis having a great day today so far, also running P13th, up 9 spots, as he's getting followed behind by Chris Smith and Matt Schofield in that yellow Bud Light car. So everyone able to get by that rolling blockade of Gerald Rose.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Newman did it from the lead, but we're seeing some serious blocking from the rear. Never seen people block that stay only 17 laps down, but yet there it is in full display right there by that 855.
Oh. Yeah, Matthew Smith and Matt Schofield, they're battling out the 96 and 61. So you got a good battle here, and that's between 13th and 14. For P14 at the moment, as looks like Kyle Lynott. We got some things going on. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yep, good battle there with Matt and Matthew. I was gonna say, I think it's 2 Matts. As we got Justin coming in the pit in the 73 and bringing in Justin White also in that 28 car. Really important not to speed, not get any black flags here. Nice clean entry and exit. Any mistake here could ruin your day.
Everybody going to take 4 tires here at Kentucky today. Those things, it's amazing how it goes from trucking to tight real fast. There's Milliken and Joe Volpus. They're doing their best race impersonation. That's for 6th place right there as they're trying to close the gap on Lynott. But Medina with that 1.9 second lead, still looking like the class president, as he has got the pole. He won a championship last year, and that lead continues to just get tinier and tinier, a bit larger, as he's got that 2-second lead over Jared Kelly. Brenner 4 seconds back, Smurrell 5, almost 6, and then you fall all the way back to Lynott, Volpus, Milliken, 10 and 11 seconds back. So with 38 laps remaining, Medina, he will have to pit one more time, I would imagine. But other than that, he is looking like a strong contender, with Jared Kelly coming in second right behind him. Good racing here today, but once they get on these longer runs, it just seems like Medina and Kelly just start to pull away.
Yeah, and here we go, a shot with David Brenner in the 22. He's running in P3 right now.
They're better on the short runs. It seems like Gulf Coast is short pitting or something, and then they're really fast for a few laps. And then towards the end of the tire run, it just looks like those Folcom guys just kind of eat them up.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of national battles across borders, there's the Kevin Kyle at 31 and Jason Landry in the 56. There's been a friendly rivalry between these two ever since Jason came in the league and set it on fire. Kevin's got a point to prove that Americans are greater than Canadians, and Jason thinks maple syrup tastes better than ketchup. So we all have our issues, but these two love battling out on track. And if you keep an eye on these little battles throughout, you learn that different drivers race each other a little harder than others. As we take a look at that 965 of I'm gonna get these numbers out. Chris Smith Sorry, Chris, and the 3 digits. I'm not used to calling your names out, but we'll get used to it. I promise.
And then you'll change your number to a 2-digit number, and we'll go through this all again.
That's right. As we're on board with the Omaha Steaks cam on Where's the Beef. Oh, a little touch there. Is that Thomas Pierce again in the 46? Yes, Thomas Pierce in that liquid chrome molly gets side by side with Chris Smith. They get a little bump in action there, but no incident yet.
No harm. No harm, no foul.
No fingers come out of the car. I think everybody's okay.
Yeah, that's just a racing incident. That just happens. At least we think so. They close the gap again. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see exactly how that passes is given.
Oh, Thomas doing a little side drafting. Oh, gets up a little too close side drafting. Spins Chris Smith out in front of the field in turn 2. And I think that's going to bring out a caution there, as that's an incident on track and everyone's going to get woed up. And we'll see how this shakes up the race here as a yellow comes out on lap 133 of the Puckett 250. As everyone, 30 cars trying to get woed up. So everyone's got to pay attention. Here comes that pace car flying around the backstretch. Let's see if our leaders are going to be able to catch up to him or slow down. Oh, that pace car really woeing down. The other cars, Kevin Kyle had to hit the brakes. Almost gets in the back of Jared Kelly and company. Oh, David Medina's waiting for the pace car, not sure what to do. Oh, this could be a big moment in the race. I don't know if iRacing gods are going to... He's waiting for the pace car to go by him, but at the same time, he's past it. He's put in a tough situation. So with the field so spread out, and when the yellow came out, I think next time David would have to slow way down on track, but it's hard to know where the pace car is. Oh, is the 28 Malarkey touch a little bit there, trying to get straightened out? It's a cluster. It's a cluster right now.
It is, because look at all the cars that didn't fit.
Right.
They're going to have to come in next time, and then that's going to rotate them to the back of the field. That is unfortunate for a few of those cars at the front, specifically David Medina.
Right. So anyone watching that's in the league, so next time we have a caution, we're going to add a lap right away. So once it says 2 to green, we'll add a lap, because I believe there was an update that shortens this whole sequence. So we will try to add a lap to take away what happened today, because we're not trying to have incidents like that from happening. So it's a work in progress on that. So if anyone's listening or watching out there, that's what kind of happened. As now, I think, because now if David needs to get tires put on that car, he missed pit road entrance. If he comes back down, he might get a black flag. So we'll see. There's a little confusion out there as we watch the number 9 here come around turn 3. Is he going to bring it down? Because if he does, he will be getting a penalty for entering a close pit.
Darn you, gods of iRacing. Is that Dale Earnhardt Jr. we're talking about? Is he the god of iRacing?
I mean, he could be.
One of them? Like if there was a Mount Everest of iRacing people, I guess he'd probably be up there.
I'd say Junior, because Dale Earnhardt
he walked the track, right? He walked the track. Yeah, Junior, not
so David Medina, leader, comes in under closed pits. That's going to be a 15-second hold drive in. So that might just ruin his shot here, as the cars that got a wave around are going to take the wave around. And a lot of confusion here, Mean Gene, during the race. I hear drivers on the radio trying to get things straightened out. It looks like they're going to have to delay the green flag a lap to get some things straightened out. So all this due to the shortened pit sequence, and we'll, like I said, it's a work in progress. I know Kevin's trying to do the best he can out there and make sure everything's fair on the up and up, but it's things to learn from, and it can only get better from here, hopefully.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies right now. Some people are going to risk it and take 2. I'm hearing on the radio right now a couple of cars not wanting to take any tires for lap position, and the 8:55 is finding out what time McDonald's stopped serving breakfast. So a lot of different thought processes going on in the cars right now as we are closing it down on this caution, getting ready for that restart. But the big story, 10:30, by the way, if you were wondering what time McDonald's stopped serving breakfast, You're going to have to go to Jack's to get 11 o'clock. The big story, though, is definitely Medina falling victim to the iRacing glitch, making him pit. He's going to have that 15-second whoopsie daisy, and that is going to push the front row to an entirely different set of cars. And magically, just like that, you're taking an eye at Jared Kelly as your leader and Christopher Smurrell battling him. And these guys are long-run people, so to see them in the front at the very beginning of a run just makes you terrified, considering how fast they've been on those long runs. So the pit car went in and out, in and out. And that reminds me of something else, that in and out. I hope he pulls out in time this time so these guys can get going next time around.
Yeah, that's gonna put. I mean, that's gonna put the leader.
Where's Medina?
It's gonna put him a lap. It's gonna put him not a lap down, but back of the field, basically.
And then he has to come back in under green for 15 seconds, or how does that?
Yeah. I'm not sure back of the field. I'm not sure where he ends up on the restart. But yeah, after it goes green flag, he's gonna have to come in and serve that penalty, and it's going to be a drive-through penalty and a 15-second hold. So he has to come into his pit box, hold for 15 seconds, and then he's able to get back on the track. So that could be a day ruiner. And it's no fault of David, just something, pace car came out of a weird spot, and we had a little bit of confusion. There's still more confusion. And I know Dave, 31's doing everything he can as he's very slow on track, causing issues.
Well, here we go. There is your restart. Right now, we're looking at your leader, Jared Kelly. He leads them up into turn one. Behind him, you can see Christopher Smurrell. There's the 22 of Brenner. Brenner underneath Smurrell. That's that second row behind Jared Kelly. And then, little wall touch there. Sam Milliken running in fourth. And then there is David Puckett running in fifth. So, top five, top six now, making good way around this track. We've got 29 laps to go. Fuel and tires shouldn't be an issue at this point. This is just going to be an all-out sprint to the end, and those tires should be able to hold up for that many laps. Might get slick at the end, though, Kevin. What do you think?
Yeah, they're going to be worn out at the end of this thing as they go three wide around the 995. Justin White, Kyle Anant, they're battling out further behind in the pack. But, yeah, it's going to be an issue. You still need to take care of these tires. You got at least 20 some laps left to the end of this thing. 29 laps. That's over 3/4 of a run. So you do have to take care of what you're doing out there as Jared Kelly out to the lead here with that clean, fresh air. That's very important right now at this time of the race, is to keep that clean air out in front of you. And if you have the lead, to keep the lead. So we'll see what Jared's willing to do to keep that lead, as the 07 and the 28 are trying to split. Another car going three wide a little further back in the pack, and there's racing all up and down the track. These drivers doing a great job.
It's hard to tell them, though, to try to save tires. You just did a restart, 28 laps to go. You want to drop that hammer. And to be honest with you, Kevin, that's exactly what I think Brenner has to do if he wants to close the gap and get into Jared Kelly. Jared Kelly has been so smooth on these long runs, one of the faster long run cars, whereas Brenner has made his mark on the sprints. Brenner has got to get by him and then start to block like Ryan Newman. But right now, he's in that dirty air of Kelly, and he's got Christopher Smurrell waiting to say, if you make a mistake, I'm going to get side by side with you, and you're going to get dirty air in the front and on the side. So right now, you can see Kelly controlling the race. Brenner is just in a tight spot. I mean, he's basically a pickle in a sandwich.
Yeah, it's all about being able to handle the pressure right now. You got a lot of pressure because you don't want to lose Jared, and you're also getting pressured from behind. And it's just about being able to take a deep breath, settle down, and run your line and not get bent out of shape over anything. You know, that's when mistakes happen. So it's about being mistake-free here, as now Jared Kelly having a chance to lead in the race, not being in the shadow of David Medina this race. He's got clean, open racetrack out in front of him. So we'll see if he can hold on to this thing. And this could be the key to the race.
Yeah, once those tires wear down in a few more laps, I think it's Jared Kelly time. Brenner's got to make a move. This is one of those situations we talked about, respectfully using the bumper. You're so close, but it's so hard to pass here at Kentucky. So just a little touch, just a little taste might be exactly what the doctor ordered to get the 22 by this 55. And if you're the 5, you'd love to see that. Morel would love to see these two guys get into each other, allowing him to sneak on by and maybe be the one that claims the inaugural bucket. But right now, lots of laps, 24 laps to go. These three guys battling. That timer is clicking away, though, Kevin. If Brenner doesn't get the next few laps, I think we're going to see that longer run car of Smurrell sneak by, and then it could be Kelly and Smurrell battling for the dub.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, that is well said here. As the laps are ticking away and the pressure is increasing each and every lap, Jared Kelly running for his life, trying to hold on to that lead. He's doing a great job looking out the rearview mirror, as you can see, trying to put air on David Brenner's car, not letting him get that downforce he needs.
How much of that, though, is actually looking in that rearview mirror? Do you feel like you need to be here? Could be the move. He goes high.
Oh,
Sneaks on by him. What a move right there, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to get a new leader. David Brenner finding his way up into the front. He brings Smurrell with him. Kelly back into third. And now, just like we suspected, just like we insinuated, the quicker run car of Brenner takes the lead, but the longer run cars of Smurrell and Kelly behind him. How long can Gulf Coast Racing hold off this Fokum charge? Oh, what a race day today.
yeah, Jared made a little bobble there, paid the price, letting Brenner get around. David Brenner did a great job being able to capitalize on that and take the lead. So now Brenner with that clean air, like you said, Mean Gene, he was really good on the short run. So we'll see if that continues here and for how long, if he can hold off Chris Morrill and Jared Kelly.
I don't think he was burning his tires up on that run. He didn't do anything severe to make that move. That was just Jared having a hiccup. It kind of sent him up into the wall, allowing that gap. The 22 of Brenner has had plenty of time to look at how smooth Jared Kelly and David Medina were running. He knows at this point, let the car drive itself. You just adjust it and control the throttle. And that's pretty much what he needs to do, or else this Gulf Coast team member could be eaten alive by Christopher Smurrell. Smurrell has proven he's run top 5 all day, and he's proven he knows what to do on the longer runs. Kelly's still behind them. Kelly's been known more as the long run guy. I haven't seen him make the quick moves that it would take for him to get by Smurrell. So right now, I'm keeping an eye on Smurrell and seeing if Brenner can hold him off or if Smurrell can just wear those tires down slowly. Kelly, though, still poking that nose in there, not willing to go away. This is a heck of a 3-car race, 19 laps to go.
Yeah, and then just another couple of shout outs. I know we got Dennis Puckett. He's running 4th place right now, up 18 spots. Sam Milliken behind him. They got a little bit of a battle. He's up 20 spots from the beginning of this race. So shout out there to Sam and Dennis for the great job they're doing today with a top 5 finish. They're looking for top 5 finishes. So great for them to keep working at that. As now Chris Morrill's going to look underneath David Brenner. Brenner gets up a little high off the exit. Might open the door here for Chris Morrill. As now Smurrell's got a drag race down the backstretch. Is he going to be able to make it stick on the low line, or is David Brenner going to be able to keep that momentum on the little bit higher line and exit faster off the backstretch? With Chris already got a nose out in front, David might have the upper hand here.
Yeah, those tires are starting to wear down on that 22. He is trying to run as hard as he can on the outside, and you can see that rear end starting to slide around, especially having to downshift in 3 and 4. You can just see that right rear wearing down as well. Meanwhile, look at Jared Kelly. This guy is back and forth. How do you pressure 2 guys at the same time? I don't know, but that's exactly what we're watching. Contact right there. Smurrell touches Brenner. Brenner's going to go a little high. Oh, my word, we're 3 wide right now going across the start-finish line. Contact. Kelly touches Brenner to pass him, and then he's going to cut down and try to take back the lead.
Yeah, amazing job there by all these drivers. Jared splits the middle, seen each driver run out a little momentum. Jared had the better run, being the single car behind him, and able to generate an amazing run through the middle, which also set him up to cause them each other driver to have problems on their new entry to the new turn. So Jared capitalizes on that and takes over the lead here with shit. Listen, we got 20 laps
to go.
15 to go.
That could be the mean genius move of the day. Holy smokes, Jared Kelly. I thought he was fading backwards. I thought the tires had worn off that long run car he's had, but the way he was driving early, losing control, but it looks like the driver of the 55 was just letting his tires cool back off so he could make that move. And suddenly Brenner in that short run car moving the wrong way, and Smurrell comes out on the short end of the stick. Behind them, you can see Puckett and Owens 4th and 5th. Hey, let me ask you this. If Puckett wins this thing, he doesn't have to do the yard work at his own house. You think he could pawn that down the road to a family relative?
I think it gets put on his brother, Josh. Josh would have to come over and then do the yard work.
Well, at that point, I'm pulling for Puckett himself now to go ahead and take his own trophy. But David Owens behind him. Look at the gap closing up. 13 laps to go. Owens side by side with Puckett. Owens is on a rail all of a sudden. I said it earlier, Kevin. I said I've seen this guy go a lap down. I've seen him go 2 laps down and make his way back into a race, become a nuisance on the track, and then take it all the way to victory lane. And the way he's running this thing right now, if he could get clean by Puckett, get into the air of those top 3 drivers, he could be a factor as well in this race. Side by side with Puckett, though, that's not the way that they're going to close the gap. Up front, though, you can see Kelly. He has got back into his rhythm as he is trying to hold off the late charge of the 22 of Brenner and the 5 of Smurrell. That gap's starting to get a little bit bigger.
Yeah, this is what Jared wants to see, though, is side-by-side racing behind him. And it's just Dennis is doing a great job of holding up David Owens. Dennis is doing everything he can right now to hold on to that top 5 finish. It means a lot to him right now. So Dennis fighting tooth and nail for every inch of track and not letting David Owens go that easily, as Sam Milliken now is trying to catch up to sneak that top 5 away from him as this racing action is in continue. I don't know if there's enough time for David Owens to make a charge, as Kelly now out to a bigger lead. He's got a half a second lead now over Chris Morrill. Chris Morrill finally clears David Brenner, and he'll see what kind of times he can put down to see if he can catch Kelly, but it might be too late for the number 5.
Yeah, 10 laps to go right now. I think as far as who's going to be making a move, we still watch Owens. He's got 2 cars directly in front of him. Sam Milliken, he's making his way into this thing as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on positions 2 through 7 back there. But Jared Kelly, he had that long run car. He was in the lead. He's got that clean air. And with 9 laps to go, he could be the guy to take this home to the bank. Right now, though, Owens trying to put that move on his teammate of Brenner, and Christopher Smurrell, he's just hitting his marks, running those clean lines up in second place. If Kelly makes another mistake, if he sneezes, if he hiccups, if he burps or verps, he could be caught. But right now, Kelly, I think he's worked out all the kinks, and he is the guy to beat. Look how smooth inside view here from the 5 car of Smurrell. And you can just see these 2 guys are pretty much running the same line. You're never going to catch them that way, Christopher. You're going to have to take a chance, because right now Jared Kelly looks like he could be the unbeatable force, the unmovable object, just running through Kentucky. He can almost feel that .5 wooden trophy bucket in his hand. It's so close. The gutters will not be cleaned today by Jared Kelly. They could be cleaned by someone else in the middle of a February winter storm. There's David Brenner. You can see that gap starting to fade away as he's watching Christopher Smurrell go bye-bye. But behind him, Owens very close. This is some great racing. Look at this move. Owens wanted to pass on the outside. Ooh, they're so close.
Yeah, gets his nose in there, not letting David Brenner exit all the way to the wall. Gonna help him get a jump on him coming into 3 and 4. I think he's gonna have it. I think David Brenner's tires might be giving up the ghost here, as they're gonna. I know Brenner's gonna give him all he can handle here, as it's a David on David battle heading into turn 1.
Yeah, it's not a hate crime if you're the same name. So these two guys can take it out on each other if they'd like. Good run. David Owen's got to be really happy with what he's done today. He's going to come up a little bit short, barring a miracle. But considering the guy was a lap down, to now magically see him take over that spot, move his way up into the top three, that's a real happy Gulf Coast driver right there, as he's going to be putting his way towards the points. Up front, though, 5 laps to go, and that gap is slowly closing up. Kelly, not sure. If the tires get a little bit hot, that could just be the opening that Smurrell needs. Smurrell, again, the guy's been running top 5 all day. He has not been making any mistakes. Kelly, on the other hand, has had a couple of incidents, self-inflicted mistakes. And so if he gives himself another one of those, I think we could see that 5 get by him right now. Crossing that start-finish line, 4 to go here at the Puckett 250. We could be posting a brand new first-time winner for this season, and that could be Jared Kelly.
That's right, Mean Gene.
Look at him, styling and profiling.
He looks a little nervous in there. Looks concentrated but nervous. He knows Chris Morrill. S'mores, they call him over there in the academy. Old S'mores there. Both drivers, beautiful racing suits. They're racing as good as their suits look here, with only a lap and a half here, I believe, to go.
Yeah, they're booking it as hard as they can right now. This basically is a matter
Sam
of
Milliken and David Brenner,
mistakes.
quite a battle here for 5th and 4th. They're side by side also, as Dennis is going to give up the ghost for P6. But Dennis, great job by Dennis. These two battling out side by side, but the battle here for lead, Chris Morrill, Jared Kelly coming across the line. Last lap, I believe. It's lap 166 here at 167. This is it.
Yeah, you just got to bring it smooth around, Jared. That's all you got to do. Don't jerk the wheel. Trust done for the last 166 laps, and you, my friend, could hoist that trophy above your head. It'll only take one hand. Gonna bring it around turn 4. He's still got that lead over Christopher Smurrell. And winner, chicken dinner. Jared Kelly is
Congrats to Jared Kelly. Yeah, able to hold off Chris Morrill and the hard charging Smurrell there, and hold off David Brenner. All drivers had a great chance there. Those top 3 were in it all day. Due to the mistake of David Medina, not a mistake, but just unfortunate events there with the pace car. These things happen. But great job there. Congrats again to Jared Kelly being the inaugural winner of the Puckett Trophy. It actually is a bottle of, looks like a bottle of whiskey with a little horse on top. Beautiful looking trophy there, made by KK Woodscape. So they'll be coming over to you, Jared. You just need a picture of your car, side profile, and I'll get that mailed out to you as soon as I can. As we see Jared burning it down here at Kentucky. First winner of season 12 here for the Bonfire Racing League. And what a race we had. Really glad to see the cautions. Not glad to see them, but only had 2, I believe, or 3 with this big a field. Really proud of everyone coming out here and racing with us this Sunday morning for our season 12 opener. And yeah, I mean, Gene, can't say enough here to the talent we saw today.
Hey, let me ask you this, though. I mean, if they're racing in Kentucky, it's not a bottle of whiskey, right? It's got to be a bottle of bourbon.
Bourbon. I'm sorry. Bourbon. My apologies. Woo.
Yeah, not, all bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbon. I think there's a little bit of elitism. And speaking of elite, Jared Kelly, the elite man of the day. Unfortunate finish, as you mentioned earlier, David Medina, he did finish 18th, a lap down after that little fiasco with the iRacing software. But as we said, BRL officials have addressed the situation and plan in place to make sure we don't have that kind of situation due to a glitch moving forward. Jared Kelly, your winner. Christopher Smurrell going to come across second. David Owens third. Sam Milliken, great run for Sam, going to finish 4th. Sam qualified 25th. You know he's got to be happy to pilot that thing home in 4th place. 5th place, David Brenner. David Puckett in 6th. Justin Malarkey 7th, Joe Volpus. 8th, Zach Engel. Welcome to the league, my friend. Going to finish in 9th. And 10th place, Matthew Smith, the privateer from Canada.
Yeah, and then we got Rob Shoutery going to bring in the 11th place, Kyle Lynott 12th, Justin White 13th, Stephen Neal 14th, Ricky Mandela Sr., rookie, P15th, great job, and Stephen Neal, rookie to the series, good job, you guys. P16th, Paul Ferdani, P17, Matt Schofield, P18th, David Medina is going to end up after that great run today. And like we said, we documented what happened to him. And then Edward Peltz, P19th. Michael Benton's going to pick up a 20th place finish.
Yeah, 21, Jake Shea. Tommy Fox going to finish in 22nd. Kevin Kyle, 23rd. Thomas Pierce, 24th. Beating out Gerald Rose on the same lap. Look at that. Pierce had that early incident. You're going to come back, though, 24th. Gerald Rose, 25th. Jason Landry, 26th. Chris Smith, 27. Brandon Shelton, after seeing his amazing qualifying and fast running, 28th. David Buell was turned into a steak and got T-boned, finishing 29th. And 30th, Shane Weatherington. 30 drivers, heck of a showing for this first race of our 12th season. Kevin, taking away from this, though, my biggest thing was the speed of Gulf Coast racing on the short runs, but the ability of the Folcom guys to just dominate the longer runs. I don't know if it was a pit strategy, if it was a setup in the car, but we really saw that theme throughout every one of the pit stop and the runs right after that.
Yeah, Mean Gene, I think it's just a type of thinking that goes behind each team. Like, I feel like, maybe Gulf Coast more aggressive, more aggressive at the beginning of runs, and that runs through their whole team. But also any given Sunday, they're just as good as Team Folcom and any of these teams out here, long run and short run. But I feel like our mantra, I know I'm more of a long run driver at Team Folcom, and some of the other drivers are more tire conscientious. So I feel like it's just kind of the team motif, as one would say, of each team. They all have their different weaknesses and strengths due to their, from their leaders of the teams.
Mm-hmm. And also, things change depending on the strategy in the middle of the race. You can't always control when a caution occurs, and then that can throw everything out of whack as well. If we would have watched a five lap shootout at the end, I think we would have seen a different finish out of David Brenner specifically. But with that longer run, it just played right into the hands of Jared Kelly, and heck of a run also by Christopher Smurrell. I just cannot emphasize enough how fun it was to watch those guys, everybody in the field today. 30 cars. What a great showing, Kevin. I can't wait to see this thing continue to progress. And if you're worried about some of the guys that finished in the back, remember, this is a playoff system. If they can get into the final 12 once we hit that last race of the regular season, this thing is wide open. And then they're just one win away from pushing their way into the final 6 and then the final 4.
Yeah, and then for everyone that's in the league and watching and racing, it's around the 12, and then on our schedule, it's a typo now. It will go from round of 12 to round of 8, and then to the championship 4. And it's not winning you're in; it's all based off of points. So keep that in mind also. Ooh. And yeah, there's no winning in this series, so just keep that in mind. And then our next special event is going to be Sonoma. It will also have a special trophy that goes along with it. So everybody start practicing for Sonoma, and I will get the laps and tires and everything situated, but just keep that in mind. It'll be about a 35 lap race. Shout out to the production truck boys for putting this on. Jared Kelly, Buddy Sally, Zach Panzarella, Mean Gene, Joseph, all you guys that are a part of that group. Thank you for all this. We couldn't do without you guys. And everyone subscribe and like to the Bonfire Racing Network, and we'll be here next Sunday after the race for the next one.
I had to hit it.
Yep.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you guys letting me come on for the broadcast. We're looking forward to our boy Zach Panzarella. He'll be back with us hopefully